Yeah, I think it's starting.
On this week's live stream, Magic 8 Ball has all the answers in Mr. T's latest coding project.
Trust me, you don't want to know.
Our game reviewer, Young, has a great new Japanese rhythm game for you to try out. And Hifad celebrates his new animation workshop series by building an animated birthday card. All this and more coming right up on the Chromeworks live stream. Good morning, world. It's Mr. Tomac back again with my special guest, TankBot, in the background here. I've loaded TankBot up here as a reminder to me that we are having a very special week coming up on the Chromeworks network here at the Chromeworks Studios, which you can see behind me. So we are starting work on our first big joint project here. It's an AMV, which means which in Scratch lingo means an animated music video. We're going to be taking TankBot here, who's the winner of our Robot Idol contest. What the heck? And he is going to be starring in a brand new music video that is going to be having an all-robot cast. I'm going to leave the rest of it a mystery for you guys, but basically, so we're going to be spending a week or more, depending on how much time this project takes, and I'm going to be farming out different tasks to anyone else who's interested in joining me in this little venture here. So we'll be meeting on Discord, on my Discord server on Monday morning, and we'll be trying to piece together how to record our own music for this project, how to animate our robots and create sets and stuff like that. So there's going to be a little bit of work for everybody, hopefully, and we'll map out a really cool project here and be releasing it on Scratch and on YouTube, hopefully in a couple of weeks when everything's good to go. So really looking forward to working with that. If anyone out there is interested in joining and helping out in this project, please join my Discord server. You can find the links on my website, chromeworks.ca. Let's actually just navigate over to there right now, just so that I can show you guys how to do it. So a reminder, guys, that Discord is not intended for little kiddies. So if you are under 13 and you want to participate, you're going to need your parents' permission to join my Discord server. Just go over to the link that says live stream on my website. That'll come up with the listing for my live streams. Down here below, there's a join button that will take you to the link to my Discord server. There's some information here for parents about Discord. Most parents are starting to get a little more informed about how Discord works. So just a reminder, if you are under 13, you are going to need your parents' permission. But please join me on Discord at 9 o'clock on Monday morning if you're interested in participating in this project, and we will find a job for you. All right, guys. So yeah, that's it for that. So we're looking forward to hearing from TankBot, who I know is very, very eager to not just take over the world, but also star in our video. So we're looking forward to that. So my project for the week is a remaster of an old project that I did a while ago. Let me show you that right now. So this is a project I did right back at the beginning of COVID Computer Camp, way back in March, or this was probably April 2020. I did this project, and at that time I was just experimenting with broadcasting, and things were a little rough. I built this project kind of live in front of my audience from Discord. They were chiming in, and it was an interesting little session, and we did some great coding, but It wasn't the greatest lesson to put on YouTube because there was kind of interruptions and false starts and all kinds of stuff. So what I've decided is I've got some really great material from these early days. Some of my best stuff I used right away, but I didn't really present it properly. So what I wanted to do is kind of take a second look at some of these old projects that I did way back in my early days and remaster them, send them out as brand new videos that have been polished up and have all of the content much more slickly done. I'm just so much better at this stuff than I was 2 years ago, as anyone would be, of course, right? If spending 2 years working on any job, you're going to get better at it. They say that to be an expert at anything, you have to spend about 10,000 hours working on it. Well, I've spent a few thousand hours and I'm on my way. I don't think I'm an expert broadcaster yet or an expert scratcher, but I do feel like I'm getting a lot further. So this new remastered version of the Magic 8 Ball project has some extra features in it, including, so I've renamed it, instead of Magic 8 Ball, I've called it Talking Magic 8 Ball. And you can see here that, let's run the project right now and give you guys a look. I've added some visual features here to make it look a little nicer. That's not part of the tutorial though, but what is in the tutorial here is an explanation for how to get this Magic 8 Ball talking. So the original project, it was just talking with speech bubbles, but we're gonna actually implement voice recordings this time. So let me show you how this works. You click on it, you ask it a question. Magic 8 Ball, will this be a good live stream today?
You would ask something like that.
Yeah, okay. I guess I am a little bit vain. Sorry about that, guys. So, so Whistly Coding is saying it's 12:30. So he's heading to bed. Well, thank you for joining us for a little bit anyway. I remember that you're from India, I think, if I recall correctly. Anyway, so welcome and thanks for at least stopping in. All right, so the idea is you click on the Magic 8 Ball and it gives you a random answer, as well as a voice balloon. We've got recordings going here as well. Let me do one or two more just to give you a sense of it. It's very important that you always ask Magic 8 Ball a question, so do not abuse Magic 8 Ball. Or the magic will break, obviously, like duh. So let's ask one more question of Magic 8 Ball. Magic 8 Ball, am I going to get some new subscribers today?
You would ask something like that.
Okay, that's weird that it's giving me the same answer over and over again. I guess it thinks I'm really vain. Magic 8 Ball, should I eat something unhealthy for dinner tonight?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll take that as a yes then. All right, McDonald's it is. Woot woot woot. So let me show you some of the coding inside this project. So the full video tutorial is being released at 11 o'clock. As always, I release my my projects at 11 o'clock if I've got any kind of tutorials going this week, and I do. It's just a little 20-minute video. It's very, very appropriate for brand new Scratch users. There's nothing too complicated here. The most complicated bit of code here is where we implement the actual talking. So we've got a list here that I've created, and let me show you that. So under variables, this is a good introduction to list variables, by the way, if you don't understand how they work. But I've got a list variable here where I've just written down all the answers or the potential answers to this particular thing. Now I could continue adding more. I could have 100 different answers here. The software will automatically update because you can see that it's looking at it's picking a random answer from the length of the list of answers, and that's very important when you're grabbing stuff off of a list. This block here that says length of answers will always tell you the total number of items on the list. If I click on it here, for example, you'll see it spits out an 8. So instead of writing 1 to 8 here, I can put length of answers, and then it will know if I add a new entry here. For example, if I what would be another good answer? Deck, do you have a good answer for me? Come on. Absolutely not. Excellent. Okay. Welcome to Deck from England, by the way, who's here with me on the Discord server today. My most loyal patron. It's been around since forever. So now that I've added a new item to that list, you can see that when I click on length of answers, it spits back a 9 instead of an 8 here. So the nice thing about this is you don't have to keep track. If you're adding to a list, you never have to keep track of the number of items on that list, and it always updates the block that way. So right now I'm saying that item, so item selected answer of answers. That selected answer is just the output of the random number that I selected here. So in this case, I rolled a 4 out of 8 and fed that into this variable here. And so when we click on this item here that says item selected answer of answers, really we're looking at item 4 of the answer list, which is I don't know. Right, and that spits out an I don't know. For the sound here, where it says play sound until done, it's actually playing sound number 4. Selected answer is still 4 here. And if you go and look over at the sounds, you'll see that I have a different voice recording for each of the sounds that I've done here. So number 1.
Yes.
Number 2.
No.
Etc. So we're just going to play sound number 1, 2, 3, or whatever. So to add with absolutely not with what Deck suggested. Absolutely not. Okay, so to add the extra voice recording here, we would have to go and record a new voice. Let me do that quickly right now. Absolutely not. And then I would just trim out the additional noises that I don't want here. Save it. And now the key is putting it in the right place. The name doesn't have to be 9, but it does have to be in the 9th position here. So I'm going to drag it above my sound effect here so that it's in the 9th item. And now I can simulate that here in the code by changing that variable selected answer to 9. So let's set that variable to 9. And now when I tell it to play that sound, absolutely not, it will play that sound. And so that's how that works. It's really not that complicated. The other thing I show you guys how to do in the video is how to use text-to-speech to do that. So instead of using this play sound command here, we can tell it to speak the word that it's selected from the list here. And the nice thing about this is it's expandable, so that you just have to type the answer and you won't have to record something new to do it that way. Let's have a look at that version of it right now. I'm just going to hide my answer list here and max my program out so that I can give you guys a look at this.
Yes.
Uh-oh, okay, I'm speaking Japanese here. I was going to show that to you guys later. Let's go back to English again. Whoa, it's just too hard to understand in different languages. Okay, let's try that again.
You would ask something like that.
Exactly.
Absolutely not.
Whoa, so there's something going on here, right? It's speaking the item. Oh, it's saying hello there first, which is, of course, not supposed to happen. So it's supposed to say the item and then speak it. And then we blank it out with a blank at the end. That's the way the code works. Let's try that one more time.
Yes. You would ask something like that.
There we go.
Yes.
So the fun thing about about using the text-to-speech editor is you can mess with the voices, right? You can change the pitch of the voice. I can make this more of a female voice.
No way.
Or I can make it a deep, giant voice.
Yes.
There we go. And you can also get it to say stuff in a weird accent. So the text-to-speech does work with different languages, but when you set language with this block here, it doesn't actually translate into a new language. What it does is speak in an accent that matches the language that you're speaking, and that makes the voice text-to-speech a little bit more realistic and accurate. So if I change to Japanese here, for example, Japanese is always a good one. So my Magic 8-Ball will speak in a slight Japanese accent. You'll hear it here.
No.
Anyway, I just find that really funny. Some of the other fun accents, I think Arabic makes a good an interesting sound here. Say something different, dude. All right. And so you can give your Magic 8 Ball a little bit of a more kind of exotic tone by getting it to speak in a slightly different language. The other new feature I've added in this remastered version of Magic 8 Ball, which you can find, which I've just released today on my Chromeworks release channel on Scratch, by the way, is I've got some different graphics set up here as well. So in addition to the Magic 8 Ball, we have a Magic cheese ball here, and you can see the title changes. I'm just doing that by hitting the space key, by the way. So if you have a look at the project, I haven't shared this project with my viewers, by the way, so let's do that right now. There we go. So if you do want to have a look at this project, it is shared now on the Scratch network and under my Chromeworks release channel, as I said here. So there's a magic cheese ball, and also I've done the classic crystal ball here as well. So there's different variations of this, and I would love to see you guys remix it if you want to, with some different graphics. You could have almost anything that you want here. As I said in the movie, you could put a dice here, for example, or in Deck's case, he'd probably want to put a chess piece here, because that seems to be his obsession. But something along those lines. So there's all kinds of ways to remix a project like this and do something fun. And of course, you can write your own wacky Deck's saying, how did you know? Yeah. So Deck's pretty predictable with his chess remixes. He's done a number of them for me already. So yeah, there's lots of ways to remix this project. Most importantly, I would love to hear your wacky answers. As I said in my movie, there's all kinds of funny themes that people have done for me. I do this project with students all the time, and one of them did a really funny passive-aggressive Magic 8 Ball that was all full of answers that were supposed to make you feel bad when you asked the question, and I just thought that was a fun little project. So do something that makes me laugh. Do something fun and interesting, and I will show it on my stream next week or whenever you come up with it. So by all means, create something, share it share it with me, and I'll be looking for remixes of this project. So just go ahead and remix it. I'll have a look next week at the remix tree and see if anyone made anything interesting. We are joined by David, my former co-op student. Hi, David. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
What have you been working on lately? Doing any coding, or are you just busy with school?
Mostly just been busy with schoolwork. I've been thinking about games that I want to make, mostly over the March break and summer.
Okay.
Basically just planning some ideas, writing some stuff down before I start anything.
Yeah, we got some spam going on here. Just a second, I gotta go get rid of a user here who's spamming us. Whoa. Remove. Okay, Andy, can you get rid of those, please? Deck, you're a moderator. You guys are all moderators, eh? Can somebody oh, it looks like they're all gone now. Okay. Anyway, we had somebody spamming us on the server here. That's never cool. All right, sorry I was distracted, David. I just suddenly the chat started to go crazy with stuff that was not very kid-friendly. Welcome to RGB Plays from Reading, England. He's joined us over in the chat server as well. Hi, RGB. Nice to see you again. Or is it? Yeah, it is RGB Gamer. Anyway, guys, so I guess we should move on here. David, I just zoned out the last part of what you said. So you were talking about wanting to make games, right? I did want to let you finish your thought there.
Basically, I've been writing some stuff down, basically, for stuff that I'm hoping to get started on over the March break and over summer.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly I'm going to be working with stuff that I like, with languages I'm already familiar with, but I also want to start learning a bit of Unity
Right.
and Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
Both of those.
Yeah, Unreal Engine is, I'm being told, is the new kind of way to go. It's definitely the new version is breathtaking, and lots of pro coders are saying they're switching over now just because they're so impressed with what they're seeing there. Anyway, hello to King Brick who just joined us. If you care to share with us where you're from, just roughly what part of the world you're from, we're always interested in looking at that. Okay, guys, I guess we should move along anyway. So please do have a look at my Magic 8 Ball project. The tutorial is being released at 11 a.m. in about half an hour, and I think it's a fun little project. So it's one of my favorite projects for the classroom, and teachers, be aware that this is a great little project. It has some literacy elements to it, and it would really work well in school. King Brick says he's from Ontario. Nice to see a fellow Ontarian on here. Welcome, King Brick. All right, so let's keep things moving here. I have a couple of videos from my co-op students. It was a slow week here, but we do have a couple of things to show you. I want to start off with Young, who's been doing game reviews for me. He found a really great new game from Japan, and he's going to tell you all about it right now.
Hey everyone, it's Young. Today I'm feeling a little musical, so today I will be reviewing a rhythm game, but that's enough of me. Let's get straight into the game. The creator of this game is Omowaka. Omowaka is a unique name for sure. Omowaka is a Japanese scratcher who has been on the platform for a year and 11 months. Omowaka has 1,073 followers, and this is one of Omowaka's first games. Omowaka is mainly an animator, so it's pretty impressive that this amazing game is one of their first games. Let's start off with one of my favorite parts of every game, the select screen. It's just amazing. With the song playing in the background here, you can select the song you want along with you when you play the game. You can select the special move you want, and the instructions to the right here are pretty clear. They just need to be positioned better. But other than that, everything in the select screen is pretty sick. So, with all that done, let's get into a level. So, the controls are just WSD or ASD, or just the up or the right, left, and down key. It's fairly simple, but my first issue I have with this game is that there's no punishment for when you get a wrong key, when you click a wrong key. So, it is a scratch game, it is a bit hard, but the downside of that is I could literally just press all 3 keys at once and then just never miss any. So I think that's quite a poor design feature, since I can literally just cheat by doing this, and it makes the game fairly easy. So I think there should be a punishment feature to where if you click the wrong key, you will get like deducted something. Another part is the special move. When I was first playing the game, I saw this bar. I didn't know it was the special move. I thought that was the time you had left until the game ended. So I think there needs to be a timer added, or they need to be more clear that this is the special bar. Because if there's a timer added, they're like, oh, this is the timer counting down from when the game ends. And then you investigate this bar and you're like, oh, it's the special bar. But they need to be more clear on what this is exactly. So with that all being said and done, let me actually show you what the special move looks like, the diamond one. I showed you guys the orange one earlier. I think all of the special moves are relatively the same. They do the same thing. They won't always get all of them, so you still have to try. So that's pretty much all I have for the gameplay and thoughts. Okay guys, I skipped to a different part, the result screen. The way it's laid out is pretty cool. Adding a world record combo into things and just a high score into things is pretty cool. Showing your own record as well, comparing it to those, making yourself feel bad about yourself. You know, it is what it is. I don't really have any tips for this game. Just keep practicing, getting better and better. Maybe you guys can get the world high score, the world high combo. Who knows? This is just a reaction speed game, so no worries if you're not good at it. Overall, this is an extremely impressive game considering that this is one of Omawaka's first games. Maybe adding a bit more, more backgrounds. For example, this tree background. Like, just add more of them for visual appeal. And some word formatting on the instructions side. And this is a top-tier Scratch game, straight up. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Well, thanks to Young, my co-op student who put that together. I really love game reviews, and I've made sure over the last couple of years as we've been getting more co-op students aboard to always have somebody making game reviews for me. I think that there's lots of great work out there that's just not getting recognized. So Young, his mission is basically to go out and find hot new Scratch games that are getting a lot of views in the past couple of weeks and do a review of one of them. If you have a suggestion of something you'd like to see covered, please do drop me a note. You can mention in the chat here, or you can leave me an info. You can leave me an email at info@chromeworks.ca. And I'd be happy to pass that along to Young and let him know what you'd like to see covered. It does have to be a brand new game that's just come out in the last few weeks, so that's the rule. Okay, so I wanted to show you just the cutest little thing. I was approached this week by a kid. Normally, a lot of my viewers are teenagers, and some of them are even young adults who are really interested in coding and particularly in digital storytelling. I've had more and more I'm finding that there's older kids who are watching my stuff because it tends to get a little bit complicated for the youngsters. But I was reached out to this week by a kid who told me that he was 6 years old, and I was a little skeptical, and we've been texting back and forth a little bit on the Scratch website, and it looks like he is indeed 6. Let me show you his profile here. So his name is Seal HB, and he's from Iran. And he says he's 6 years old and he likes seals, and that's why he has that Seal name going on. He seems remarkably literate in English and in, I think there's some Farsi on this page as well going on here. So, wow, like what an amazingly smart kid. Let me show you some of his projects. They're not super fancy, but they use some fairly elaborate concepts that I would not expect to see out of a 6-year-old. So I'm not sure if Seal, if you're grabbing this stuff from somebody else or whether you're getting help. Here's like his little personal intro screen, for example. You can see how the screen scrolls up when he does this. And if you look at the code there, he's actually got some math functions. I wouldn't expect your average 6-year-old to even understand how multiplication works, but so he's got kind of an acceleration thing going on here. Let me show you some of his other projects. He's been feverishly following Griffpatch's tutorials for platformers, and he's produced a whole bunch of custom platformer levels here. Let me show you one of them. So it looks like he's very faithfully followed all the coding inside Griffpatch's program here and has made a really smooth little platformer here that he's designed himself. He might very well have grabbed the finished engine, but then he went ahead and coded it and designed the some fairly nice little platformer levels here. Really impressive. Again, it's not that these are the most fantastic Scratch projects, but coming from a 6-year-old, I am genuinely amazed. King Brick is impressed too. He says this is really cool. Let's have a look at some of his other projects. He's got lots and lots of platformer projects going here, but he's look at this. He's very prolific. He's got 48 different projects up here. Some of them are written in what appears to be Arabic or Farsi here. And yeah, let's have a look. Hold it. No, this isn't his project. What? I thought I was looking at his page here. Oh, these are projects that he has remixed, perhaps? So these are, let's go back to his page. I think these are projects that he's favorited rather than his shared project. I clicked on the wrong place. Sorry about that. Anyway, so yeah, here's some more of his projects. He's been following Griffpatch's raycasting tutorial, it looks like here. Let's look at something that it looks like he might have coded himself. Here's one called Please Don't Block Scratch in China. Please don't block Scratch in China. Aw. Yeah, I agree. I think that everyone all over the world should be able to keep scratching. Let's just look at one more of his projects. I was just so impressed with this little kid. Here's another one on the foreign relations topic. Iran is friends with Israel, he says. And so he's got some guys pointing guns and they're running away, and now they're all jumping up and down saying Israel is my friend. So here's a little kid who's doing his little bit to bring peace and harmony to the world. And wow, isn't that great? So congratulations, CLHB, for doing such great work. I've been reached out to by all kinds of scratchers in the last couple of weeks, and I want to show off just a little bit of their work. This is kind of a new show and tell feature that I want to basically run every week. So if you are making some cool work and you want to show it off on Scratch, all you have to do is say hi to me on my profile page, which is right here. Let me show that to you guys again. So just send me a message if you'd like me to have a look at your stuff. If this starts to become hundreds of kids, I might not be able to keep it going. But right now I'm getting 3 or 4 people a week who want me to have a look at their work, and I'm having a look at their projects. Blue Arcade here is one of the people who reached out to me, and he's got, let me see how many followers he has here. He's got 800 followers, and he's making some very nice little platformer style games with lovely thumbnails. Let me show you this game called Tumble that he came up with. Really lovely little project. Whoa, that is too loud, eh? All right, that's better. And so let me just try playing the game here. I think I've started this off wrong here. Let's try that one more time. Press enter to play. Well, let's try that one more time, dude. So it's a constant falling game, and you have to you can't fall too quickly because you end up falling in the lava, and you can't let yourself go off the screen. So you're constantly trying to stay in the middle of the screen is the idea here as you're falling. If you go too fast, as I said, you'll fall into the lava. And it's quite a fun little game, actually. I haven't seen this play mechanic before. It's a fun little thing, though, and really nicely coded anyway. So Blue Arcade, congratulations. You've done some really great work here. Here's, he's done a bunch of platformers. It looks like he's been using Griffpatch's engine, but I might be wrong. Here's one called Ice Ball, a platformer. We'll just play a little bit. I'm going to show you guys how horrible I am at platformers now. Oh, this is one that where the platforms move around. Whoa, lava. Anyway, just a nice little platformer game. He's made a number of these platformers, and he seems to be quite competent at them. So that is Blue Arcade. Blue Arcade is actually a friend of our friend from Iran here, and I think that and Blue Arcade is from Indonesia, by the way, which is really cool. I just love seeing how many scratchers from different countries are participating in this. Really great. All right, so there's Blue Arcade. Here's another scratcher reached out to me. His name is Eplit, or Eplip, probably Eplit. And he's from the US, and he's 13 years old, and he's been making some really cool projects as well, a lot of games. He's made a fairly realistic remake here of Fruit Ninja that I want to show you guys. It's quite lovely. Let's just click Classic. And you can see there's no sound effects, but the graphics are beautiful. Really, really nice 3D effect on these fruits. I'm not sure whether he grabbed the graphics from the game or if he designed these himself, but they're just lovely. Anyway, so that's a nice game. Eplit also produced some other great games. Here's a Flappy Mario game. So a Flappy Bird variant with some Mario stuff going on in here. Let me try that again. Let's try playing. Yeah, so a nice little, very competent Flappy Bird, more competent than me, Flappy Bird variant here. Wow, this is a rage game, isn't it? I'm going to try one more round here. There we go. So again, nice work, Eplet. Congratulations, and thanks for letting me share your work online here. Another person who reached out to me is Red Panda Coder, and thanks to Red Panda for telling me all about Scratch comics. I had no idea that comics were a format in Scratch, and this is something that's apparently more popular than I realized. So here's a little Scratch comic that he did called P for Paradox. And so the idea is you just keep clicking the space bar to move ahead frames. So like any comic book, you can kind of read it at your own pace. And so it's just a matter of clicking through and following the story as we go through hundreds of frames. What I love about these Scratch comics is they're super easy to do. There's almost no code. As you can see, the only code here is really just knowing what to do with the space bar. So when you click the space bar, it goes to the next frame until it gets to the end, and then it just recycles again. So there's almost no code in these projects. They also do respond to being clicked, and so if you click on the screen, it also advances the frames that way. So this is a super simple way to tell stories without knowing anything about code. It's just a matter of drawing the different frames of animation. You can copy a lot of the backgrounds and reuse stuff, and so there's no worries about animating stuff, timing things, moving it around. And so this is a really, really great format, I think, for kids who are just getting into storytelling in Scratch and aren't really that confident at animation yet. So this is a legit format on Scratch. Red Panda suggested I have a look at Hexacube, who's apparently one of the bigger users of this particular format. He's made some very sophisticated stories here. Here's one called Phantom Walker that I'll show you right now. So let's just load this up right now. So the same idea, but some really engaging stories that he's writing here that have hundreds of frames. I'm just going to click through this really quickly to give you a sense of how these stories work. I was particularly interested in the voice balloons and how these people were doing this, and I think it's probably being created inside a different editor, right? Let's have a look at one of these frames here that has a voice balloon in it. I'm just kind of curious about how he put these together. Yeah, this is just a Scratch text window. So he just drew a black box, or he, she, they. Hexacube drew a black box here and just inserted the text in that way. So a really great format for storytelling in Scratch. And I'm interested in seeing if anyone else is producing this kind of work. If anybody knows of anyone producing this kind of stuff that has also made some great comics, I'm interested in this format and really want to do some more coverage on it. So please share with me if you have a favorite comic creator who is making stuff for you in Scratch. You can see the code in Hexacube's work is even simpler than in the last project here. There's really just 6 blocks in the entire project. They've also got all their characters saved as different sprites here, which makes them really easy to export if you want to bring these characters in and remix your own stories off of them. And I have a feeling that that's something that Red Panda Coder might have done as well. I'm not sure if you drew your own characters here or if you borrowed them from elsewhere, but that's a great way to get started in storytelling anyway, so by all means give that a try. Okay, I've got one more student-made video for you, and that is my man Hifad, who has just kicked off a new series. We don't have an intro for it yet, but I've sent him off on a mission to teach Scratchers all about animation. So we wanted to start with something fairly simple, so he designed a little Scratch birthday card, and he has a lesson today on how he made that. So let's go to that right now.
Hi, I'm Hafad, and welcome to the first episode of Animation Workshop. In this series, I'm going to teach you some simple techniques to add fun animations to your Scratch projects. Today, I'm going to teach you how to make a fun animated birthday card in Scratch. Alright, so for the first part of our code, or first part of our page, since this animation project is going to have 2 pages, it's a birthday card with 2 pages. So basically, how we're going to start this off is when flag clicked, clear graphic effects. So it will just clear everything that's pre on the page or anything like that. That's already, like maybe text or anything, it will clear that up. Then it will show, and then it will switch the backdrop to party. I'll show you guys what this is. Basically, this is the backdrop that block of code refers to. So this is the backdrop. Party, it's called party. It'll switch that backdrop to party, which I just showed you. Then this is the code. So I'll show you what this is. So it'll repeat 30. Change world effect by 2, and wait 0.1 seconds, change world effect by -2, wait 0.1 seconds. And so now what this code basically means is, I'll actually show you how this looks like. So if I just take this out for a second, and just take this out, just to demonstrate what this really is if you put this right here, look at the effect. See how it moves to the left slowly? Just like that. And then it just stops, right? So basically that's the effect, right? It makes like a curved effect, right? But we don't want that. That doesn't look right. So to really just, make the effect, we get another change in world effect block, but this time we put it to -2. So if this is 2, this will be -2. If this is 3, this will be -3. Just to fix the effect. Then we will of course put this block just for the timing, right? And then, okay, so then now look at the effect. You see how it goes to the left, and then it goes to the right. So basically that's the effect we want. And then we will get the of course, we're going to need this broadcast next screen, just to go to the next screen. And then this will hide the first page. So that's basically the first portion, the first script for our code. Now this is very obvious what this is. Basically this is change color effect by 25. What this basically is it's the color. You see how this color changes? Yeah, basically that's the color, right? And I put this on repeat 30 seconds. It will do it for 30 seconds and at a rate of 25. This is the code and how everything works for the first page. Now we will move on to the second page. So to start off, we have 2 backgrounds, 2 pages. So this is gonna be for the second page. Okay? So basically what this all means is when flag clicked, show, and then it will play the sound birthday until done. Now, and then after that it will say show. So show, play sound birthday until done, show. Basically what this is it's a soundtrack in the Scratch library which I got. And the soundtrack is called Birthday. It comes with this party background. Then I switched the costume to Cake A. Okay, so basically Cake A2, Cake A3, Cake A2, Cake A. These are the most important parts of the code right here, the block. So Cake A, you see how these lights are big? And then look, A2, they get smaller. And then A3, they get smaller. And then in B, they're so small you can't really see anything. It's gonna run an animation on the second page of how big your lights get. So you have to have different sizes for these lights. You have to like draw them out. So in code, basically, switch costume to Cake A. So for the second page, I'll actually release it. I'll show you guys the second page. So it'll go like this. I'll show you how this looks like, so it makes sense. So as you saw, they get big, small, big, small. So basically the pattern you need is switch costume to Cake A. Cake A would be our biggest candle, and this is gonna run in a forever loop after. Then it'll go to the forever loop, and then it'll switch the costume to Cake A2. So it'll get a little smaller now, so in the animation. Okay. And then it'll wait 0.1 seconds to just, smooth it out a bit. And then it'll switch the costume to Cake A3. Cake A3 gets even smaller, so it'll get even smaller. And then now, once it switches to Cake A3, it's gonna wait another 1 second to switch it back up to cake A2. It's gonna create this basically animation effect. So then once it switches that to cake A2, it will wait another second and it will switch the costume to cake A. And then it will wait 0.1 seconds and stop. It's gonna wait 0.1 seconds each time and it's gonna run as an animation. This mainly to stop all these sprites here. And then we'll switch the costume to cake B and it'll wait a second to broadcast the next text. So it's important to have this. This final part right here, what this basically means is when it receives the permission to go to the next screen, from here it will switch the backdrop to stripes and it will play a soundtrack which I got from the Scratch library, and then it will put on a color effect which we explained in the start onto this text right at the end, and it will change it by a rate of 25. And yeah, that's basically what this final code means. Hi, I'm Hafab, and welcome to the first episode of Animation Workshop.
I'm muted. Sorry about that. I'm muted. So Hifad is going to be working on Chapter 2, which will be coming up in a couple of weeks. We're going to take a week off from that during spring break here. But he is working on something on how to make fireworks in Scratch, how to animate fireworks in Scratch, so you can look forward to that. Sorry about having that muted. Hi to, I'm trying to remember... Adam, Adam, who's joined us. I finally remembered your name for once. I actually had it scribbled down here in case you dropped by. Hi to Funny Animator Jim, who's joined us, and hi also to who was the other person who I saw online here? Funky Pineapple, who was the maker of the AMV that I showed off last week on the stream. So lots of people joining us today. That's great to hear. I have pretty much run out of content. As I said, it was a slow week for my co-op students, and I was working full-time this week doing some teaching, so I didn't have a ton of time to put stuff together. So next week I will have an update on how our AMV project is going. Again, we're going to start working this Monday on a animated music video starring the robots who won my Robot Idol contest. So you can look forward to that this week. Since I have some time off, I'm also going to be finishing off my Wordle series, which I called Dev Diary, where I'm kind of taking a deep dive into how to code a complex game like Wordle. And so I'll be putting out a couple of parts of that next week. And as always, we'll have lots of other great game coverage. Please reach out to me if you'd like me to showcase your work here on the stream. And I will see you guys next week. I will be back with all kinds of fun stuff for you. So please drop on by. In the meantime, happy coding. And for those of you who are on spring break, have a nice holiday. Try and get